Welcome and thanks for joining and watching us today. This is our first remote partner day. And the last partner day in 2020 was really my last live event. Such a pity we cannot meet in person. And that being said, we're grateful that we can at least reach out to you virtually. 2020 was a crazy and challenging year for all of us. We learned a lot. And COVID was an accelerator for digital commerce, also for Shopware. Shopware is growing and growing, and the interest worldwide is increasing. And I'm particularly pleased that our partner network continues to grow. So many new faces, people from different countries, technology partners, plugin developers, solution and enterprise partners. And we're so excited to have you here. More than 20,000 Shopware 6 projects have gone online. And it's fantastic to see what you have built with Shopware 6. So many different industries, use cases, and wonderful customers and brands. And in 2020, all Shopware shops reached a really amazing GMV of 12 billion euro. That's awesome! Our joint customers are growing successfully. And we know very well that this is thanks to you. I mean, Shopware is a community and you are the most important asset we have. Thank you for being patient, for the many great projects together, for the many ideas and joint workshops, for all your feedback and all your contributions, for creating this great ecosystem together with us. We're learning and growing together is the most important thing. You inspire us so much, and we are super happy to have you by our side. And everything belongs to our vision. That's it, what drives us forward. We inspire humans. People strive for adventure, inspiration and variety. Yeah, and I personally love good design, and I love to be inspired. Together, we can make an impact to bring more inspirational and emotional shopping moments to people's life. Outstanding shopping experiences that spread excitement and joy at any time, any place, any device. Adventure, inspiration, and the opportunity to experience something new. Putting smiles on faces. I mean, that's it what Shopware does. Beautiful, smooth, smiley. Let's make people happy. As our vision is to bring outstanding digital shopping moments into everyone's life. And let's do it together. Let's continue to inspire people. And I believe a vision is nothing that you can invent. You have to find it. You have to go to your heart, deep inside you. And I believe a vision is strongly connected to our emotions. I mean, everything we do is connected to our emotions. So, come on and let me take you on a small journey to the past, and I will show you why I think emotions are so meaningful for that. And this is a picture more than 30 years ago. Stefan and I as young kids. And growing up, our interests were just like today. Stefan was more interested in space science and technology, whereas I was more interested in the creative things like Lego, painting and design. And when we achieved something, for example, I built a flying pirate ship. Oh yeah, pirates and knights were always my favorite. Or Stefan took the keyboard of our father apart with a screwdriver. We were on a high. We became very emotional. Enthusiasm, joy and pride. And when we become emotional, we realize what is important to us. Those were the days, my friend. I thought they never end. We were about 7 and 9 years old, and Santa had a big surprise for us. Our first computer, so-called Commodore C64. And we were captivated and electrified by the thing. And guess what was the most important thing? Oh yeah. We were crazy about the included games, and my favorite was Flimbo's Quest. Unfortunately, our parents confiscated our only available cartridge with games on it and told us to go outside and play with other kids. But guess what this backfired on my parents? I have a damn cool brother. So no problem, because he developed the games for us. Okay, it wasn't Half-Life or Fortnite, but it was still amazing. It was another achievement for us. And years later, the monitors and resolution became better, but also with the same weight. Yeah, and we got our first super performance modem with 3030K connection and access to the World Wide Web. And the internet drove our curiosity. We were blown away by what we saw. I mean, there were more than computer games on cartridges, Word and Excel. It was so inspiring, and I love to be inspired. Awesome flash movies and motions, experiences with sound, online gaming, beautiful website design, and the interaction with people all around the world. And that triggered something inside us. We also wanted to create these awesome experiences. And how do you do that? I mean, back in the day it was the late 90s, so there was no YouTube. Yeah, we bought books. It was common to order it by landline phone. There was no iPhone. And it was a lovely age with the printed catalogs where you have to fill out order forms. Yeah, and we learned fast and tried a lot. We created software for dial-up providers. We created flash games. We built many websites. And sure, don't forget, we built web shops. And in the end, Shopware, right? And as always in life, not everything was Friede, Freude, Eierkuchen, we say in Germany. Bed of roses, love, peace and harmony. There were the negative emotions too, like fear. I mean, we were self-employed and at this time still at school, so we have to juggle school and self-employment. But what if both failed? I mean, there was no safety net. Luckily, the positive emotions outweighed the negatives and convincing us it was the right thing to do. But let's face it. If a banker had asked us, "What is your business plan, boys?" To be honest, we would have said, "What's a fucking business plan? We don't know. We haven't created the master plan for the next 20 years where we are today. We only wanted to create awesome, exciting experiences with software, with website, with cool shops, and so on. And fuck yeah, we wanted to do this. It's fun, and fun is always stronger than fear." And these positive emotions are our accelerator. And that's why I think emotions are driving us, all of us, together. And what happened so far was only possible with our crew and the whole community behind it. We are so thankful for that. An absolutely awesome adventure started, on which I certainly wouldn't want to miss out on. Each of you inspires us. And we inspire you, and you inspire other people. Open, authentic, and visionary. And these pictures are only a very short snapshot of the uncountable moments at Shopware. And believe me, there are a lot of more, endless pictures of these moments. And do you know what happened in 2010? I can exactly remember this pivotal moment when we decided to go open source. And I would say this was the most meaningful decision ever. A giant, an amazing development continues. And that's the reason for the success of Shopware. We believe in open source and community. We think innovation comes driven by the community that is much more closer to the different industries and local markets. And we want to promote collaboration and community building. That makes a difference and empowers our merchants. And today is also a meaningful tipping point. But why? We see a giant momentum for Shopware and digital commerce in general. We see global traction all around the world, from the especially existing Magento community, and we're so thankful for that. And I'm convinced that the COVID situation is an accelerator for many new business models and digital commerce in general. And maybe you've heard that a very well-known person in the Magento community is now on board with us? I mean, really with us as a community. It's for sure Ben Marks. And Ben stands for community development and openness itself. So it's an honor for me to hand over to him now. Welcome, Ben.
Whoa, that was fast. Thank you, Sebastian. Hi everyone, my name is Ben Marks. I joined the Shopware team this month in a brand new position, Director of Global Market Development. As the title suggests, I'm helping to bring Shopware's open commerce approach to the world, specifically to serve the needs of merchants, agencies, and technology vendors in this era of modern e-commerce. Now, let's take a look at those needs. Merchants want differentiation, self-determination, ease of maintenance, and competent support. They want to tell their story on their terms to the markets that they choose. They want to easily adapt and the freedom to innovate. More than anything, they want the confidence of owning the land that they're building on. Now, agencies, above all, want to use their time and effort wisely and efficiently. They want to build the meaningful, innovative experiences that their merchants need, and they want to do it profitably, sustainably, and with good support. And the technology vendors, for example, payment providers, logistics, ERP, hosting, and others, well, they just want a closer relationship with each member of the commerce landscape. The merchants to whom we're all beholden, the teams building the merchant experiences, and then the platform organizing these members in an open ecosystem. So that's what everyone wants, but let's take a moment to talk about the opportunity that creates. Right now, there's this COVID effect in which established e-commerce businesses are growing, sometimes exponentially, and new businesses are coming online at a record pace. But beyond that, there's this pent-up demand from multiple end-of-life legacy platforms. And then you add to that some platforms are actively moving away from the small, medium, and mid-market segments that they used to support. Now, if you consider all of these factors together, it presents a gold rush moment for the right platform and platform ecosystem to organize and grow around. But the opportunities aside, I think we've reached an inflection point in the era of modern commerce. I think if we sit back and do nothing, if we ignore the imperative to work together, well, then I think commerce will just take the default path in which SaaS platforms fueled by sky-high stock valuations and cheap equity infusions just suck up all the available oxygen and burn away any chance that we have to build something amazing together. But I'm glad to say that Shopware is not sitting back. Open source has proved time and again that it's the premier force for innovation and value creation in the software world. No amount of money can compete with the raw creative power of an open source ecosystem built and led by a competent and caring company when they're working in open, active collaboration together. But we all have to be the ones to build that up. And that's my charter, to help take Shopware's vision of open, collaborative commerce to the world. But how am I going to do that? Well, internally, I'm just one part of an internationalization strategy which is already well underway. But to be honest, I need your help to do the rest of it. I need the unique perspective that only you can provide to understand the technical, business, and cultural requirements to work within your geography, your verticals, and with your customers. Now, together, I think we can unlock these markets and establish Shopware business and community wherever you are. So whether I already know you or not, I invite you to reach out to me directly at b.marks@shopware.com to help me understand your perspective and your market's requirements in this new world of collaborative commerce and how we can build it together. Now, ahead of our meeting, I encourage you to visit our roadmap and to share issues.shopware.com as a tool to quickly suggest new features for us to consider. Now, after a few weeks in my role, getting to know the company, the software, and the ecosystem behind Shopware, I'm convinced that we have a chance to grow something meaningful and powerful in partnership with each of you. So I hope you'll join me and the rest of my wonderful Shopware family as we build something truly amazing together. Thank you for your time. Back to you, Sebastian.
Thank you, Ben, for your kind words. I'm really looking forward to a future in which we build a worldwide community. A community that is all about inspiration, support and collaboration with each other. And we are all part of it. So let's lead the change. Let's grow as one. Let's grow together. But what about the future? Can you imagine? What will our world look like in 5 to 10 years or 10 to 20 years' time? Is it with an incredible shopping center in the air, what the Jetsons knew 50 years ago? Seriously, this episode was produced in the 60s. Crazy, isn't it? And will we drive with milkshakes in a flying reclining seat through the world? I don't know yet, but I know I would be super happy to have one of these. Just kidding. On a more serious note, so what will the future bring? And the key question is, which role will Shopware play in this world? And the world in the future, I don't see the Terminator Skynet world, so I'm sure we will find good solutions for good humans to make life better. And we firmly believe in a fully digital and connected world that consumers have no longer to worry about the things they need for a daily basis. Algorithms, software and new inventions will take care of that. For example, the super fast contactless profile identification for your checkout, self-driving cars as an instant shop brings you fresh vegetables. Sure, your product will be delivered in hours via drone, and for lunch you will get yours printed out in time. And in this automated world, it is even more important than ever to put the human being in the center of everything what we do. By knowing their needs, you are able to find helpful solutions for their everyday life. So, let's get back to today, 2021. COVID is accelerating the change of shopping behavior. The way we buy, what we buy, and the mindset in which we buy has changed forever. And to know your target group and behavior, his needs in detail, is crucial. They affect the market. And what we knew is, for example, the younger generation Z or Alpha, they act differently. They have different interests. Brand loyalty is changing. Value things are more meaningful for them, like sustainability. And they look for long-life products or reused products. So, taking stance and sense is not an option anymore. It is needed. It's more important than ever to bring orientation, identification and inspiration to digital commerce. The positive thing about Corona, no stores are open to sell cheap Easter decorations. I'll make them myself with my family. I think this is a nice quote I found at a study from Trend Bureau in Germany. Or this one. It's not the purpose of life to be successful, but to be valuable. Most of us think Amazon is the main winner of digital commerce, right? Yes, I think that's true, to a certain extent. And if we have a look to our younger generation again, we can see they don't use Amazon as the first entry point to find products. Orientation and identification, they have enough of the same looking product listings with mostly copied or fake products that tell no stories and where inspiration doesn't exist. They're looking for brands, companies that have values and attitude. And they start with social media. The TikToks, the Instas, the WhatsApps, the YouTubes, the Facebooks, and so on. Social story tells, inspires, and leads them to new brands and websites. They trust more and more new brands and give them a go. So we see the strong direct brand development, And they expect that every brand has an own webshop. Sure. And this changing behavior affects the market And on the top, we see a rapid technological development. More and more devices in the world, and also the channels are increasing. And we all know this will continue and scale quickly. So, this is a huge challenge to the market, and especially for commerce. The shopping behavior is changing and changing. And the classic storefront is increasingly being challenged by other digital channels and will be replaced in the future. The entire customer journey is changing faster and faster, and survival will be those who can adapt best. The ones that will survive are the ones that adapt the fastest and move straight forward. And that's why we developed Shopware version 6 from scratch and introduced it at our Shopware Community Day in 2019. And Shopware 6 carries the basic idea of networking in itself, e-commerce, at any place, at any time, on any device. Be exactly there where the customer needs me, helping our merchants to leverage their growth potential through outstanding shopping experiences. And with Shopware 6, we reduce the complexity, make it easier to create awesome shopping experiences. And on the other hand, we give the maximum flexibility to build customized solutions. Everything to support the success of our merchants. This is what we call your freedom to grow. Simplicity and flexibility combined in one technology. Empower our merchants with future-proof digital commerce solutions and giving them the maximum of freedom. And we see the market divided into 3 segments: small, mid, and enterprise businesses. And with Shopware, we have created a solution for the entire growth path without growth pain. One technology. And first of all, to be clear, we don't want to compete with Shopify in the small business segment. Our product focus is clearly on the mid-market and enterprise area. For example, customer projects with a GMV between 5 and 100 million euros per year. And this is exactly the market segment where we're already successfully today and where we see the most growth potential for the both of us. And for Shopware, the small business segment is primarily an incubator for new business models, startups, and ideas. And we assume that many new approaches to digital commerce will emerge through COVID, and we want to offer these entrepreneurs the quickest and easiest possible entry into the Shopware universe. And if we look at the approximately 12 billion euro GMV generated through Shopware shops in 2020, 50% of that comes from merchants that have an annual GMV between 500,000 and 5 million. And even 16% are right over the top. And this shows once again that mid-market and enterprise merchants are clearly part of our core business. And as already mentioned, one of the main goals of Shopware 6 is to reduce complexity. I think digital commerce is complicated enough in itself. And from a merchant perspective, there are already a lot of obstacles to run the business. Well, we closely looked at which complexities merchants actually have. And what we found was complexity in operation, complexity in the question where is it hosted, and complexity in the daily business. And to reduce these complexities for our merchants, we see 3 required parts for a modern tech stack. With automation, many manual and error-prone processes will be handled by machines in the future, giving merchants more time to focus on what really matters, making the shopping experiences unique, memorable, and engaging. And the trend toward the cloud is unmistakable. The cloud helps to reduce complexity, sure, but today cloud solutions are still very inflexible and strongly developed for a specific use case. And lastly, no code will bring flexibility in the future. And we believe that these trends will lead to the perspective that we will have with Shopware 6 a product that combines the best of both worlds. Simplicity on the one hand and flexibility on the other. Not only for small customers, but also for the mid-market. And don't get me wrong, for us we see no conflict for an open ecosystem. In the digital commerce of the future, we see two basic worlds. On the one hand, we see lightspeed projects. So many startups and creatives, they start new digital business models that have simple requirements and want to get to market quickly. Think about the upcoming D2C trend, the new direct brands we can see. And on the other hand, we see customizable commerce. So it means larger, ambitious projects in which merchants can take the technological ownership themselves and need maximum flexibility. And there's a fluent transition between these worlds with Shopware. We not only connect these worlds, but also provide merchants with a consistent growth path. And this combination of flexibility, fast time to market, and simplicity makes Shopware unique and brings great investment security. You can start quickly and easily and still have the possibility to further innovate and develop your own business model out of the limits of SaaS solutions. In this open commerce world that Shopware offers, distribution forms such as SaaS, PaaS or self-provision no longer play a role. Every merchant can plug and play according to the requirements and choose the solution that fits their needs and ambitions. Because Shopware 6 uses the same open source tech stack, which you will find on GitHub. And there's an easy-to-use app-based ecosystem that can be used out of the box, but there's also a custom ecosystem that offers several thousand extensions that cover the entire value chain of digital commerce and are easily customizable. And we're really looking forward to offer the world's most flexible digital commerce ecosystem together with you. Where the solution, not the problem, is in the foreground. Our promise: open access to the source. No vendor logins, always and forever. Because we believe in an open and free digital commerce world in the future. Nothing is more boring than thousands and thousands of similar looking stores. An innovation that only comes from one single manufacturer. We believe in a living in an open digital commerce world that is mutually stimulating and evolving. And that's why we think open commerce will win going forward. For us, this is exactly the right way to get closer to our common vision. Because innovation for the best customer experience is driven by diversity and a colorful, open community. And how can we expand Shopware all over the world? Let's talk about global expansion. And now again, it all comes down to focus. And if we talk about global expansion, we need focus for our further growth strategy, because we can't go to every market at the same time. And currently, we focus on the European market. And for sure, we are looking to expand and boost business in the Benelux countries, in Austria, in Switzerland, Scandinavia, Poland, Italy and Spain. And for us, focus means above all concentrating on exponential but also sustainable growth in the countries where we are already strong, and expanding our market position in countries where we still want to create local conditions for growth. And these countries have a lot of growth potential for us. And we take into account things like customers and partners, pre-existing ecosystem requirements, and the economic attractiveness of the market. And in addition, we also have stores and communities that are already developing in other countries. So, do you know where there are already Shopware stores? Yeah, all around the world. I mean, Shopware is open source and free, so you can run your store wherever you want, right? Sure, there are a lot of more opportunities outside Europe. And as I said, we need focus. And to be honest, we're not able to go actively in each market. We're really looking forward to finding strong partnerships to create a common growth. So if you're looking to start a business in a new market for us, sure, let's get in touch and find out how we can activate the flywheel. Yeah, and we're proud that Gartner includes us on their metrics. Becoming part of the Gartner Magic Quadrant last year and playing a leading role in a global comparison was, to be honest, a little bit surprising for us. And in year one after that, we are now much more established, which can be also seen in Ben joining us. And the fact that we want to grow is also reflected in the fact that we are currently recruiting 110 new employees this year. And it's important to say that we are growing on our own. I don't know if you know that we are completely bootstrapped and owner-managed. As I already said, our growth is strongly connected and related to the growth of our customers. To realize the true growth potential of our merchants, well, but what does the merchant need to be successful? And therefore, we see and identified three main pillars. A future-driven commerce platform. This gives him the required flexibility and freedom that the market and the customer needs. The right business with the right products and services. And a really good and unique customer experience that sticks in the mind of its customers. And exactly these 3 points are our main focus for our product development. And for us, it's an open commerce platform, our strong real open source approach and promise, with a modern tech stack to build a sustainable ecosystem. And we want to develop Shopware into a business model composer, to compose your business model in terms of customer, product, channel and market, all without coding. And the third is the composable customer experience, a holistic and integrated approach for the whole customer journey that brings a unique emotional brand experience. And especially in the competitive comparison, we see this also as our differentiators that work very well together to be ahead of the game. So, let's start by taking a closer look at our open commerce platform. So as often mentioned, the product, the technology behind is very important. And our headless core takes a central management position with a wide range of commerce functionalities and very good powerful APIs. And a strong benefit for Shopware are the developers. They spread Shopware all around the world. And they extend the functionality of the ecosystem by building new extensions that allow users to customize their functionality of their platform to their needs. It is a perfect symbiosis between developer community and Shopware. And open is one of our core values. And we can't emphasize enough how important the open source and community-led internationalization is for us as a company, for our merchants, but also for Shopware as a product. And that's how we were able to grow. And to ensure that this continues, we use technologies like Symfony, GitHub, Vue.js, which are widely used, future-proof, and have an established community all over the world. And we are really looking forward to growing with the developer community, to win the hearts of the local developers. And we know that they are often the decision makers for projects. And what we are currently seeing and noticing is a huge momentum and movement from the Magento community to Shopware. And the impact this has had on us can be wonderfully seen in the numbers of GitHub. So far, we had over 350,000 clones, which skyrocketed with the introduction of Shopware 6. And if we take a closer look at our Shopware 6 Community Edition, you can see a strong growth there as well. We see that we have now over 14,000 Shopware community shops installed worldwide. And what makes us particularly proud is that these are not only based in Germany or Europe, but all over the world. In total, more than 100 countries around the world. And this means in more than every second country in the world, there is someone who has already worked with Shopware. That is an incredible number. And at this stage, I don't want to talk anymore about advantages of an open commerce platform and how you can participate. So, let's instead ask Boris Graber, member of Shopware United Board and CEO of our partner agency Strix. Welcome, Boris.
Hi, I'm Boris Graber, member of Shopware United Board. Shopware, in choosing the open source path in 2010, chose not only the way to license their software, but chose to embrace the whole open source philosophy. This philosophy means that merchants, developers, agencies, vendors, hosting companies, and technology providers of Shopware can influence not only how the platform develops, but also how the community grows. In the beginning of 2020, a group of enthusiasts, believers in the open source philosophy, created an association, Shopware United. As a part of co-creating the Shopware environment, we want to support and grow an international and English-speaking community. We've been working on events, organizing meetups about integration, about missing features in Shopware. We plan one about PWA for Shopware, and we support Shopware booth days. In a few months, we became an active link between the community and Shopware. Our core founding team is Martin from Denmark, Fabian from Germany, Damian from Argentina, Wouter from Netherlands, Margareta from Romania, Rabia from the UK, Boris from Poland, including support from Sander from Shopware Italy, Wouter from Netherlands, Justin from Shopware UK, and Claudia from Shopware Germany. Once again, Shopware as open source is not only about software, but first of all about people, so you. As Shopware United, we are there for you. If you are a developer, a Shopware partner, and have a project that would benefit Shopware community, let us know. If you want to organize a meetup, a hackathon, or have an idea for supporting Shopware education, we are here for you. Please let us join. We'll help you with your project as much as we can. You can find us on shopwareunited.com, LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter. Follow us, share it with others like-minded people, add us to your favorites, and stay up to date with our community and its growth.
Thank you, Boris. And I'm excited to see how Shopware United will support the ecosystem and in the end the success of our merchants. And another very important growth pillar and a big benefit to our global open community is the self-reinforcing flywheel. And this is a little bit like a running snowball that is getting bigger and bigger. And it starts with a good customer experience. Users are attracted to the platform for its strengths, quality, and sure, for the track record. And it means increasing users and customers demand new features to address specific business problems and applications. Integrations and extensions to address new business needs are built by the community. And as more specific capabilities are demanded, more agencies and developers will join the community. Integrations and extensions become standardized and increase the functionality of Shopware to address more cases straight out of the box. And with countless extensions, a supportive development, ecosystem, and increasing level of features, Shopware can deliver more for less. Sounds quite interesting, doesn't it? So, how can I extend Shopware? We should ask an expert for deeper insights. And I mean a real expert. And this is Joshua Seiler, Director Product at Shopware, and in the community very well known for ages as Josh. So, here's Josh.
We're a huge believer of composable commerce because it eliminates the problem that all of you have experienced before. Your customer outgrew an existing solution, or really have banned the solution to the point where it really hurts and becomes unmanageable. Or having the customer insisting on sticking with the existing solution, like a CRM or a CMS. We empower business to make changes to the digital strategy and enable new business models. With Shopware's composable commerce, you allow your customers the fastest time to market while using best of breed or other existing solutions at the same time. Let's take a look at one facet of Shopware's composable commerce, the modular architecture. The separation of our core into multiple functional domains ensures the isolated exchange of capabilities whilst minimizing horizontal dependencies and side effects. This enables you to design a sustainable infrastructure and to adapt to changing business requirements at all times. Simply said, we empower you to design the perfect solution. Rather than trying to tweak standard features to fit your needs, our modern architecture allows you to adapt the rapidly changing market dynamics now and in the future. Shopware allows you to assemble best-of-breed components around the existing ones, or even replace components within it. This can be done in 3 ways. Through apps from our ecosystem, with custom extensions within your project scope, or via our public API. Talking about public APIs, we believe that a solid public API are a requirement for Shopware and the ecosystem to facilitate further growth, extensibility, stability, and our open platform mindset. That's why we introduced the Shopware app system as a new pillar to bring extensibility to our platform. Not only are apps compatible with Shopware, regardless of its operating environment, but also they allow us to provide and integrate more independent and reliable services. It takes away most of the side effects, compatibility issues, and upgrade disasters that are inherently connected to the more intrusive plugin system. With the current version of the app system, we focused on providing interfaces for event-driven integrations that allow other systems to exchange data with Shopware. We are already in the process to broaden up the app system interfaces for more sophisticated functional extensions as well. By integrating the new App Store into all distributions of Shopware, we are exposing the new potential to a broader audience, ultimately striving to take the complexity out of operating the system. Following the high demand from merchants for such painless solutions, we are going to increase the focus even more and support you as much as possible with the development of apps. So if you have any feedback, questions, or requests, talk to us. We gladly assist you to understand why the app system is the right foundation for your ambitions. With Shopware, customization does not always mean modifying or adding code. Through our no-code approach, we have created the possibility to customize Shopware to the needs of the business model using built-in features. In the area of personalization, the Rule Builder is our key tool for being able to adapt Shopware to the individual behavior of customers. For example, prices can be adjusted, promotions can be offered, or content can be personalized within our shopping experiences. Seeing how great the no-code approach works with the Rule Builder and it's adopted by our merchants, we asked ourselves, what if we could apply this approach to other areas as well? We came up with the idea, wouldn't it be awesome if our merchants could design not only rules, but also workflows without programming? This was the moment the Flow Builder was born. For a business model, automation and process reliability is crucial, and this will be addressed with our Flow Builder and customizable workflows. This allows you to create entire business processes without any programming and to adapt them to the business needs. The Flow Builder is also a perfect match for our app system, and we are already excited to see which apps will be created for the Flow Builder in the ecosystem. Through our composable commerce approach, we empower you to pick the best possible solution without being dependent on the given components. This also gives you the freedom to start lean and add more sophisticated functionality whenever needed. Now, back to Sebastian.
Wow, thank you, Josh. And let's sum up. With real open source, we have a community-led internationalization with the focus on developers. And the reinforcing flywheel brings in the end more extensions and success for all of us. And our composable commerce approach will support you to speed up your project with the best quality out there. So, let's come to our next main focus, the business model composer. And let's talk about the crucial required business flexibility while the shopping behavior is changing. And we see tons of new business opportunities in the future. For all industries also accelerated by COVID. And remember what I said before, the way we buy, what we buy, and the mindset in which we buy has changed forever. But what does it mean? Let's have a look at an example in a specific industry. And therefore, let's take the industry children's goods. Oh yeah, I know exactly what I'm talking about with 4 kids at home. And to be honest, I always listened to my wife and she told me a lot. So, this is Mia, a young mom with her baby Emily. And as a merchant, it is crucial to understand your target group. Why does she need my products? What does her day look like? And what could help, support or benefit Mia? So, Sure, the first entry and touch point is often a required physical product. And in this case, Emily wants a teddy. Makes sense, right? An additional benefit for a mom like Mia would be to show her valuable content. Bring ideas, stories, inspiration about how you can deal with the children at home during these stressful COVID times. Content like do-it-yourself arts and crafts or outdoor games. And what about more complex products? So Mia is looking for a baby carrier, but she needs more information and advice. How to tie them, which stretcher is right for her body. So she could use guided video shopping to arrange a meeting where a person can present it to her. Really strong benefit, don't you think? And Mia attaches great importance to sustainability and would like to use a baby hammock. And take it from me, babies sleep damn well in these things. But she knows that she can only use the expensive product for a maximum of 6 months. No problem, the retailer simply rents it out to her. And then there is this thing with a healthy diet, a priority for Maya and Emily. Cool, the retailer offers a guided step-by-step advice. So, age, taste, allergens, and shows her suitable foods, of course linked to suitable content pages. And the day of a mom can be damn exhausting. And of course, the retailer knows this and offers online relaxation courses for this as well. Mia can easily book appointments for it at the webshop. And how cool is that? She can register for digital and live events like exchange parties for parents combined with a flea market. And that is only one specific industry. What about consumer electronics? What about food and beverages? What about home and living? What about fashion? Do you see where I'm going? We see endless possibilities in the near future. And our vision is that you are free to decide and compose your business model at any time. We want to develop Shopware into a business model incubator, where the growth of the customers in the foreground, and we provide new growth potentials and components for business models in the various dimensions. You can start with your customer segment. B2C, B2B or direct brand. And then what kind of product? And I think that is very important because we believe that the future of commerce is not just moving boxes from A to B. There's a hell of more possibilities. Think digital goods, think digital services, think selling time as a service provider, think reservations, think renting, and so on. And in the end, it is also a transactional business. And what kind of channel suits best? Is it the mobile shop or maybe an Internet of Things only solution? And sure, where do you want to sell? What is your market? Or do you serve more markets with different brandings, content, and pricing at the same time? I think in this way we map the entire value chain of a modern digital business model. And that's what we call Business Model Composer. And therefore, we see a huge potential and much larger market compared to the classical physical product B2C business. I mean, e-commerce is transitioning into a fastly digital, bigger commerce. The market with new business models is large, and Shopware 6 will increase it, an estimated 5x or more. A huge potential. And with our commerce platform, you can run several business models at the same time. How and when all of this will happen? And again, I hand over now to Josh.
What is the basic idea behind the Business Model Composer and how did we come up with it? We started with gathering different business ideas, which helped us to figure out the factors each and every commercial business model have in common, and what we need to offer to support all of those models. This definition of commerce isn't new, but describes pretty well which factors we want to support to make sure that our offering is not only matches the business models we already know today, but also the ones that might come up in the future. This doesn't sound too complex, but as always, It is the details that make life difficult. We began to understand that we simply could no longer take assumptions for granted that had manifested over the years. Your feedback and experience helped us to figure out where it really gets painful. This can be when you want to sell something like digital products or scheduled services, or you want to offer subscriptions with recurring orders and payments, or the availability of the product or service isn't dependent on its current stock level, but depends on other factors, such as loaned goods return date, for example. So we started to tear down the walls and created the concept of our business model composer based on these findings. Even more so, Shopware 6 in general was developed around the idea of how can we break the assumption that the product we want to sell has to be a physical good. We found that the minimum common factor of any commerce business is a transaction. These transactions need to be at the core, whereas anything else around it needs to be as flexible and as adaptable as possible to be set up for the success in the future. So just to make one thing clear, this is really a game changer, since most of the existing solutions focus on shipping physical goods from A to B and everything else seems out of scope. The core element of this new way of thinking is, as I said, our business model composer approach. There are 3 pillars to the concept that allow us to maximize flexibility by eliminating the dependencies between them: product types, order types, and business processes. Let's take a look at how we are going to implement the business model composer and which out-of-the-box functionalities you can expect from us as the next steps into this direction. In terms of product types, we will support digital goods and services as new capabilities in our platform. Within the pillar of order types, we see the highest demand in providing solid support for subscription-based business as well as scheduling business. Business processes remain the glue that holds everything together. We started to decouple these processes and build a visual process designer called the Flow Builder, I already mentioned earlier. This enables you to design business processes individually customized for each business model. Now that you have a better understanding of what we're aiming at, I would like to show you how the Flow Builder works, which we'll officially release this summer. Imagine you own a coaching business and you want to offer online workshops for your clients. Once a client booked a workshop, you additionally want to offer this client a 20% discount for your coaching books. Using most existing solutions, this would mean a lot of manual effort, which is both ineffective and of course prone to errors. And this is exactly where the Flow Builder kicks in and really proves its value. Let's have a look at how the Flow Builder will solve this example scenario for you. First, we would select the trigger which gets fired when a new order is created. In the next step, we would create a Zoom meeting using a Zoom app which communicates with the conference room solution via its API. To implement the discount, we have already created a customer group in the system and set up a promotion for all affected products. Now we only have to assign the client to the customer group. Since we want to ensure that the customer receives all the information needed, we send him an automated email with all details. And that's it. That's the end of this flow. As you have seen, with a few clicks we have now designed the flow with pure out-of-the-box solutions. In this individual example, we have only walked through the happy case. Of course, much more complex flows are also possible. Due to the seamless integration of the Rule Builder, there are no limits to your creativity. Even highly complex flows can be designed using both Flow and Rule Builder. We are very curious and excited to see how the Flow Builder will be used in your future projects. We would like to involve you as early and happily incorporate your feedback now into the development phase. So if you have any feedback or even better customer cases where the Flow Builder could be used, we invite you to contact us so that we can involve you as a sparring partner. So, with our business model composer approach, we enable our customers to leverage their growth potential in a future-proof way by offering out-of-the-box support for multiple product and order types and business-centric workflows. Now back to Sebastian.
Thank you, Josh. Cool. With Shopware, any business model can be implemented. We give you the maximum freedom to compose your business. And the next step is the integrated Flow Builder, which will be available this summer already. And we see a huge potential for the entire Shopware ecosystem and a significantly larger market. We are right at the beginning of a development of next-generation digital commerce business models, where commerce will completely reinvent itself and where we are right at the forefront. So, let's come to our third main focus: composable customer experience to leverage the growth potential. And since the foundation of Shopware, our focus had been on an excellent customer experience, and we are very well known for this, especially in Germany. And this is in our DNA. It's all about differentiated experiences. A good position in differentiation is becoming increasingly difficult for companies. Or as McKinsey & Company said, acquisition strategies have never been more similar. Difference between good and bad has never been smaller. And time to copy success has never been faster. So it is more important than ever to create a sustainable and unique brand that sticks in the minds of your customers. As we knew, the experience with the brand happens on various touch points, devices and channels. The fast-changing customer journeys. And with our headless and API-first open commerce platform, you are able to design and compose it exactly the way you need it. You can be there where your customer needs you. And I think the best is you're able to embed commerce functionality into every touch point and are not limited to your classic web shop as a sales channel. Make any touch point shoppable, personalize interactions, and enable continuous omni-channel journeys. And our big picture and vision for a composable customer experience is to give merchants recommendations with BI or AI in the future. I mean, you have the whole data and knowledge about your customers. So what is the best opportunity for our merchants, and what channel, device, service could they try out at the different touch points of their customer journeys? As our mission is to leverage their growth potential. So let's come back and talk about a key feature for what is Shopware very well known and also super important for an excellent customer experience. And that is our integrated experience builder. Where you can create very good-looking shopping worlds easily, effortlessly. The perfect combination of content and commerce functionalities, emotional and inspiring content like storytelling to strengthen your brand and giving you a unique performance. And a real expert for excellent experiences is Marie Reckendries, product designer at Shopware. It's a pleasure to hand over to her now. Hey Marie!
Hi! These days, branding has become way more than a pretty layout and your logo. It's about creating an experience that lets your customer interact with your brand. Shopping experiences in Shopware 6 has supported many merchants to stick with that. You've created a ton of appealing shop projects since the launch of Shopware 6. Let me give you two of very well done examples of those projects. An exciting shopping experiences for apples? Yes, it can be simple like that. The shop project, made by the Austrian agency Zeppelin Group, shows perfectly how motion and interaction can be used to let your customer interact with the brand. Center of the project is the apple, which should always be represented right in connection with its origin. Each apple has certain flavors and different taste notes, though the challenge for the shop design was to convey these taste explosions to the apples. The Zeppelin team implemented all content pages using the shopping experiences and enhanced them with further personalized CMS elements. So in the end, it became a really tasty online shop. I think no one leaves without a strong craving for these apples. Although a great experience is key, it's also important to tell a good story around your products, like Armed Angels does. Today's customers are making their decisions by comparing their own values with those of the brand. So it's crucial to tell yours in a clear, open and transparent way. Combining content and commerce was the main focus within this project made by Das ist Web. So the shopping experiences offer the perfect base for this project. The agency developed a lot of customized elements and a visual merchandising feature to enable merchants to easily edit their contents. In case some of you are wondering what are those shopping experiences she is talking about, let's hop over into the product to give you a quick introduction. The shopping experiences is a module within your administration. This is a place where you can create these well-designed shop layouts. You can create shop layouts for nearly every page of the shop and design them with predefined blocks that can be added simply by drag and drop them onto your canvas. You are able to add custom elements and adjust blocks fit to your project needs. They can be filled dynamically with the shop's content, so that you are able to use one layout for several categories without investing a lot of time. Everything is built to help you focus on creating well-designed experiences and not need to worry about responsive behavior or investing much time to fill up layouts with many products. Now, I'd like to give you a short preview of the next features we are currently working on. Speaking of focusing on good shopping experiences, I know when working together with many creative people or with your clients, keeping focus can be tough. Especially when it comes to larger projects, you will probably work together with different departments like marketing, design, and sales, and they all got their own different workflows. So most of the time it's about communicating and organizing responsibilities. To support you as a team work more fluently together, we are currently working on integrating publishing workflows into the shopping experiences. Let me show you the current prototype I'm working on, just to give you a preview of how that can look and feel like. So, in the administration, you will find a new module where you can create your own custom workflows on an open canvas. So let's dive right into it and start creating an exemplary workflow for a typical project. My flow starts with creating a new layout with the status draft. So within my design process, it's so important to gather feedback, so I want the next step to be open for feedback. So now I can change my layout status from draft to open for feedback, but how will my colleagues know that they should give feedback now? To each transition, it's possible to add several actions. So I will add the action send notification to this transition. I define some details here, edit the colleagues that should receive this notification, and edit them a friendly message for them. So now I got this transition, but how do I make sure that, for example, the colleagues from the marketing department don't accidentally change the status of my layout? I will do so by changing the permissions on this transition. Right now, as you can see, all roles can change my layout from draft to transition. I want to change that, so in this case, I only enable colleagues with the role designer to change the transition from draft to open for feedback. All right, that looks way better. Like this, I continue building up my workflow, and in case there are too many changes in the feedback process, I want to be able to change the status back to draft, so I created a link back to it. So in the end, it can look like this. I got a workflow for my first draft through a review process, and in the end, a layout that can be launched. When I now take a look into my layout, I can see who is working on it in the activity feed and can change the status easily in the top bar. This feature will come within the Enterprise Edition, and its first iteration will release with the 6.4. In the first iteration, we will only integrate the possibility to create drafts from already published layout and see the changes in the activity feed. Also, we are working on giving you even more possibilities to adapt every step a customer makes to the brand. For example, the product detail page, an important step in the customer journey and one which is very important to customize and adapt to the brand. So with the next 6.4 release, you will find the product page layout type next to the other types. Product page layouts are filled with the basic commerce blocks that will be filled dynamically with the product's content. In the first iteration, it will be possible to add additional blocks to your detail page. and customize the basis elements. So with that, you are able to build up product detail pages with more customized elements and to offer way more space and opportunities for the merchants to tell the story behind the product and represent their brand. So, when you want to create shopping experiences that lets customers interact with the brand, you have to focus on merging content and commerce. That's where the branding has to take place. That's where the story is being told and the shop becomes way more than just selling products. With our strong headless CMS, we want to enable you as partners to do so, enable you to be flexible enough to adapt each shop project to its brand, and offer merchants the space they need to tell their story around their product. Speaking of flexibility in shop projects, I'd like to hand over to my colleague Dominic from Portugal to tell you something about the Shopware PWA.
Thank you very much, Marie, and hello from Portugal. So the time has come to talk about Shopware PWA, and it blends in ever so perfectly with what Marie just showed you. The idea of a headless approach really is to give you flexibility and bring together content and commerce, potentially from various sources. This is one of the reasons why we've built Shopware PWA the way that it is, and with our experienced partners of View Storefront. To bring you a flexible platform to bring a new level of commerce experience to your customers and their customers. And before we talk about that, I am incredibly excited to kick it off by introducing you to one of our first adopters of Shopware PWA that managed to create a brand website that really blew my mind the first time I saw it. I'm talking about our partner HCE from Italy and their project Vintageria. HCE has managed to build a shop for an Italian fashion brand from Venice that smashes the brand and its values right into your face. Their key values, sustainability and their cheekiness and coolness come really across within an instant. And on top of this brilliant, unique and truly mobile native design, they've managed to pay a lot of attention to details and gimmicks and gadgets that make the website really a big joy to use. And thanks to Shopware PWA, its snappiness and its responsiveness is really second to none. Obviously not to forget about handy features like the Add to Home Screen button or even partial offline capabilities that allow you to access some parts of the websites even without an internet connection. I recommend everyone, of course, after our presentation, goes to check it out on their website vintageria.it. Now that I've hopefully got most of your attention, I would like to take a step back and take a look at where we are right now with Shopware PWA. So development has been going on for about 1.5 years now, and we are happy to share the progress that we've made since then. We have never made any sacrifices in modularity or design for features that we've implemented, but we remained fully headless to give you the ultimate flexibility within the platform. And of course, an extensive amount of features has been built into the core of our PWA, so that native shopware functionality feels just as native within the PWA. And a growing number of partners and customers is starting to consider PWA for their projects, which we are very happy to see. Still, a question that I get asked, or that we get asked a lot, is when should I use Shopware PWA? And even though it might sound a little sassy, the answer really is whenever you need it. We did not build Shopware PWA to replace our old storefront or to make it harder to choose from one or the other. It really depends and should be driven from your requirements and your ambitions. And please let me back that with some examples. Think about, for example, interactive landing pages, where you want to showcase a product, let the customer explore its features, or show the facets of your offering. Further on, think about product configurators, where you have to model complex relations of possible configurations of your product and you want to make it as smooth or as easy to work with. Think about retail store user interfaces or retail store screens, like interactive screens that show additional information to retail customers and that enhance the general in-store experience. Further, think about salesperson assistant tools. Think about salespeople who are on the road at the customers that have a little assistant application, having the catalog right at their fingertips, taking notes while they're offline, or getting information about their customers. Think about explorative applications or games, playable, highly interactive applications that contain shoppable content or other commerce elements. All these are potential cases that contain commerce elements or are related to commerce that are potential use cases for Shopware PWA. In other words, Shopware PWA really is an experience platform. We see that these cases find more and more adoption, and we want to facilitate that growth by giving it a foundation with our framework. And just to back that, we will be expanding it. So what does that mean, you ask? First of all, we are targeting a stable release within the second quarter of this year. We are also growing the team, internally and externally at View Storefront, so that the whole development will be even more capable. And if you want to speak to us to learn about the possibilities and to discuss whether Shopware PWA is a viable solution for your project or your problem, then please approach us so we can figure that out with you. And before I wrap it up, I want to talk about one more thing. So imagine being a merchant, and I suppose we all can do that because either we are merchants or we have to deal with them on a regular basis. So you're potentially building a great brand, you have unique products, you have stories, and you have ideas behind them. And you want to share your motivations and inspirations that drive the things that you do. And you want your customers to know about it and to identify with your vision and your values. And of course, you want to inform and maybe educate them about your products. Now, with Shopware, you could already build outstanding content that tells these stories, but still, the engagement of your customers is limited pretty much to them using your website. So we thought about what we can do to get you closer to your customers, to tell your stories, to see their reactions, to understand their individual demands, and to engage with them on a more personal level. And we have come up with something, a tool that allows you to do just that. And we've called it Guided Shopping Experiences. Guided shopping allows you as a merchant to prepare and conduct a direct interactive presentation to your customers. Speak to them via video, show your products, answer their questions, and tell your story, and all of that wrapped into a beautiful interface. Think of a sales presentation tool that allows you to interact with your customers while you are presenting. You can see their reactions while you're telling the story that makes your products unique and special. It lets you create presentation that inspire customers on a more direct level, all without sacrificing the benefits of an online shop where they can directly engage with your brand or shop your catalog. Just what you would expect from a tool, really, that attempts to fill the gap between you and your customer. And at last, the current situation with the global pandemic has shown more than ever what value there is in video-backed commerce and interactive shopping experiences. And we think that the time has come to make a contribution and make it accessible to a wider audience. At this very moment, Guided Shopping Experiences is in the early phase of development. It is based on Shopware PWA as a platform, and we are excited to announce that we're working on it together with our partners Tamaris and Das ist Web in order to bring it to you as part of our platform during the later stages of this year. And we believe there's a lot of value that this solution will bring, especially to B2B merchants and brands where consulting and individual advice are critical pillars of the sales process. And it doesn't start with fashion. Think of consumer electronics, construction tools, lifestyle food, Or Sebastian wanted me to point that one out for current demands: baby transportation. We think the possibilities are huge and will ultimately have just as much of an impact on B2C merchants. And we are convinced that with Shopware PWA, we have built the perfect framework to facilitate all these needs for building next level customer experiences. We will keep investing in and growing the solution, and we are looking forward to the stable release. And believe me, I can't wait to work on and finally use the guided shopping experiences. Thank you very much for lending me your attention. Enjoy the rest of the day, and back to Sebastian.
Thank you, Dominik. And let's conclude. So, we invest a lot in R&D for an outstanding and unique shopping experience. It is more important than ever to create a sustainable and unique brand that sticks in the mind of our customers. Our big picture for that is that you are able to compose your customer experience, make any touchpoint shoppable, and provide recommendations based on AI in the future. And with our integrated experience builder, we have the perfect combination of content and commerce to create inspiring and emotional shopping experiences. And the new publisher helps to reduce the complexity. And with Shopware PWA, we have a really awesome front-end technology to bring the user experience to the next level. And I'm excited to see our guided shopping experience in action. And the next important step forward is our release of Shopware 6.4, which will be available as a release candidate in the next few days and will come out as the final version in the end of April. With awesome improvements for our content management system, the included draft mode, the form builder, the possibility to design detailed pages, and many more. Improvements of our tech stack, performance improvements, PHP 8, Symfony update, Elasticsearch refactoring, and many more. And by releasing the new version, we will also bring the new App Store into all distributions for Shopware, which allows our customers to purchase apps and themes directly via the administration. And we have many other new features, like wishlist, search configurations. They are all part of 6.4. And I'm really looking forward for Shopware 6.4. And as we have learned to realize the true growth potential of our merchants, we identified these three main pillars and differentiators for Shopware. A future-driven open commerce platform that gives you the required flexibility and freedom that your market and your customer needs. The business model composer to compose your business model in terms of customer, product, channel, and market, all without coding. A really good and unique composable customer experience which sticks in the mind of its customer. And our growth is strongly related to the growth of our customers. And as I started my keynote, everything we do is part of our vision. That's it, what drives us forward. To bring outstanding digital shopping moments into everyone's life. Let's make people happy. And I'm really looking forward to a future which we build a worldwide community. A community that is all about inspiration, support, and collaboration with each other. And we are all part of it. So, let's lead the change. Let's grow as one. Let's grow together. Thank you. There's one more thing that is close to our hearts. Since the beginning of Shopware, we have always lived our values in an open, authentic, and visionary way, and personal closeness has always distinguished us. Unfortunately, this is currently not possible. And that's why we want to give you and the entire community even deeper and more up-to-date insights into the world of Shopware. And I'm delighted to announce our new video-on-demand platform with cool insights and brand new information coming this May. And if you want to be the first to dive into the new world, You can register now at shopware.tv. Stay tuned. See you then. Bye.